Hello, Mr. Ruta. Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear the court now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Ruta. Yes, Mr. Ruta.
Yes, my lord, I can hear my lord now.
Yes.
A.O. Arota. I announce my appearance for the claimant.
Yes.
Yes, my lord, the matter is slated for adoption of final written address. Subject to your lordship overriding covenants, we are ready to proceed, my lord.
Yes.
Yes, my lord, the claimant final written address is dated the 30th day of October 2023. 30th October 2023. Dated 30th October 2023 and filed on the same date. 30th October 2023. And filed on the same date.
Yes.
My lord, we adopt the said final written address of the claimant.
Yes.
In urging your lordship to enter judgment in favor of the claimant in this case.
Yes.
My lord, by way of adumbration, the defendant in this case filed their defense, but they abandoned same because their case were foreclosed on 17th of October 2023. My lord, 17th October 2023. They did not file final written address also.
Said when did they foreclose them?
My Lord, 17th October 2023. That was when their case were foreclosed. As it is, they do not have defense before the court, and they did not file final written address, my Lord.
Yes.
Yes, my Lord. From all indication, the case of the claimant is unchallenged, as it is one-sided.
Yes.
We urge your lordship to enter judgment in favor of the claimant in this case, sir. May it please the court.
It's all right. This is the judgment of the court.
As the court pleases, we are grateful, sir.
The claimant commenced this action by a complaint dated and filed on the 3rd day of March 2020. In this complaint, the claimant who sues as the administrator of the estate of late Otigbo Linus seeks the following reliefs from the court: a declaration that the claimant is entitled to be paid in the circumstances the sum of 6,869,622 naira only as pension arrears and gratuity / death benefit of a late husband Otigbo Linus O. To an order of this honorable court directing the defendant to pay to the claimant the sum of 6,869,622 naira only as pension arrears and gratuity / death benefit of a late husband Otigbo Linus O.
As the court
Damages of
pleases.
20 million naira for the suffering, untold hardship, pains, and psychological trauma the defendants have caused the claimant in the circumstances of this case.
As the court pleases.
4. 20% monthly interest on the judgment debt from the date of the judgment until the entire judgment debt is paid. The complaint is supported by a statement of facts, a witness deposition of the claimant, and front-loaded document. Upon being served with the originating process, the defendant, with the leave of court, filed a joint statement of defense on the 16th day of November 2020, along with the witness deposition of their witness. In response to the statement of defense, the claimant filed a reply to the statement of defense and a further witness deposition on the 23rd day of February 2021. Hearing in this matter commenced on the 24th day of April 2022. The claimant testified as CW1 and the sole witness. The claimant adopted the 2 witness depositions and went on to tender Exhibit C1 to Exhibit C5 in evidence. The claimant was cross-examined by the defense counsel and also re-examined. The matter was therefore adjourned to 13th day of July 2022 for defense. On that date, the court did not sit. The matter was subsequently adjourned to the 12th day of December 2022 for defense. Due to non-service of hearing notice, the matter was adjourned to the 17th day of October 2023 On that day, the
Yes,
defendant and counsel still failed to appear to enter their defense. The defense of the defendant was foreclosed. The suit was adjourned for adoption of final written address. The final written address of the claimant was filed on the 30th day of October 2023. The defendant did not file any written address in this action. The case of the claimant is that she is the widow and next of kin to late Otigbo Linus. She is also the administrator of the estate of the deceased. The deceased was employed by the Benue State government via Exhibit C1 and C2. Exhibit C1 and C2, that is the letter of temporal and permanent appointment dated the 31st day of May 1982 and 11th day of March 1987. The claimant was promoted up to grade level 10, officer in the Ministry of Lands and Survey until he died in active service on the 20th day of February 2016. The computation of the claimant's death benefit was done in Exhibit C. By the computation in Exhibit C, the dependent of the deceased Linus Otigbo was entitled to the sum of 2,895,367 naira as gratuity, and a further sum of 3,974,255 naira as pension for 5 years, making a total of 6,869,622 naira. This is the sum claimed in this action. It is not in dispute that the claimant is the next of kin to the deceased. This is evidence by Exhibit C4.
Yes, sir.
A letter written by the Minister of Lands and Survey introducing the claimant as the next of kin to Benue State Sub-Treasury, Makurdi. The claimant solicitor in Exhibit C5 demanded the payment of the above stated death benefit. The defendant did not enter a defense in this action. The implication is that they are deemed to have admitted the claims of the claimant in this action. The settled position of the law is that where the evidence in support of a party's case remains unchallenged, a court can safely rely on it and act on it as proof of facts before the court. See the case of Ahanonu against Chukwumezie, citation supplied, and also the case of Fairline Pharmaceutical Industries Limited against Trust Adjusters Nigeria Limited, and also the case of Adekola against Ilara, citation supplied. On the strength of the above stated authorities, it is the finding of this court that the defendant has admitted the sum of 6,869,622 naira as stated in Exhibit C3. Therefore, the claimant is entitled to a declaration sought for in this action. Accordingly, judgment is entered in favor of the claimant against the defendant in the sum of 6,869,622 naira, being the death benefit of late Otigbo Linus. The claimant also claims general damages in the sum of 20 million naira. It is the testimony of the claimant that the failure, neglect, and or refusal of the defendant to pay the said sum, being the pension and gratuity entitlement has caused
Yes.
and is causing her and the beneficiaries of the estate of the deceased Otigbo Linus untold hardship, psychological trauma, and economic hardship. She testified further that the condition is pathetic and deplorable to the point that she cannot feed herself and the family any longer. Because of the condition the defendant has subjected her to. She testified further that she has 7 children that she is training in school. She has 7 children she's training now in school, out of which 2 has dropped out of school as a result of her inability to pay the school fee. It is a testimony that due to the inability to pay house rent, the landlady is about to render her homeless. This piece of evidence was not contradicted by the defense. This court is bound to rely on the uncontroverted evidence. It is the finding of this court that failure of the defendant to pay the death benefit as that when it became due on the 18th day of May 2017, as shown on the computation of death benefit exhibit C3, this neglect to make the payment has caused untold hardship to the dependents of the late Linus Otigbo, who died in active service. Therefore, the finding of this court that the claimant is entitled to damages for the neglect and refusal to pay the death benefit to the claimant. The defendant shall pay the sum of 2 million naira as general damages to the claimant in this action. The claimant also claims 20% interest on the judgment sum. The award of full judgment interest is at the absolute discretion of the court. Order 47 Rule 7 of the rules of this court empowers the court to award interest at the time of entering judgment. The sum hereby awarded shall attract interest at the rate of 5% from the date of judgment until the sum is liquidated. The claims of the claimant in this action succeed in the following terms. A declaration is hereby made that the claimant is entitled to be paid the sum of 6,869,620.22 naira only as death benefit of the claimant's late husband, late Otigbo Linus. The defendant shall pay the sum of the said sum as death benefit of the claimant's late husband, late Otigbo L. Linus. General damages of 2 million naira for the suffering, untold hardship, pains, and psychological trauma the defendants have caused claimant in the circumstances of this case is hereby awarded.
The court places.
The sum hereby awarded shall attract interest at the rate of 5% from the date of judgment until the judgment sum is fully liquidated. Judgment is hereby entered.
as the call places.
Counsel,
My
the
Lord, we are
judgment,
very grateful.
the judgment
My
shall
Lord,
be
we are very
forwarded to,
grateful to the court.
it's all right. The
Yes,
judgment
sir.
will be forwarded to Makodi so that you can have a copy of it.
As the call places. My Lord,
All
we
right.
are very grateful for this erudite judgment. May God continue as the call, sir. We
It's
are
all right.
grateful, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So I think we can shut down the Zoom now.
Okay.